Hey everyone, this is Bobby Davis, the founder of Coder Foundry. I'm here in beautiful North Carolina. It's a beautiful day outside again, and I'm joined here with Kevin Doyle, who is we're still in COVID-19 lockdown. Say hello, Kevin. How you doing?
Hey, good. How are you?
All right, good. So it's a beautiful day today. I'm gonna get outside today.
It is. I don't think there's a cloud in the sky today. Not that I see out my window.
No,
it's pretty nice. And not too hot, not too cold for North Carolina.
No, that's great.
It's gonna be hot the weekend, so that's good.
Yeah.
So yeah, we took a day off on Friday. So
we did.
That was nice. I actually physically took the day off too, so that was kind of cool.
I coded on a video, so.
Okay.
So like that's what I did. So I'm working on it'll be out this week, templating in JavaScript. I went more detailed into like how you can use the new template tag in HTML.
Oh, awesome.
Build out templates in JavaScript. So
okay, very cool.
To learn how to do that. Like, for example, let's say you're on an HTML project and you have like 4 or 5 pages and you want to replicate the menu across all of those, but you don't have a good way to do that. I'm going to show you how to do that.
Okay.
So you can write your menu in one place and then replicate it across HTML using JavaScript. So, and
very cool.
Tag. So
very, very cool.
Yeah. So it got more involved than I wanted, but like, yeah. So probably an hour video again, you know?
Okay. Hey, it takes whatever it takes.
It'll be fun. I think it'd be pretty fun. So.
Yeah, whatever it takes. Let's go over a few before we get going here, before we get in our topic. Just a few heys. Hey, Adam.
Hey, Adam.
Josh said it's good to stand out in a crowd, even alone at home.
All right.
That's what we're trying to do. Hey, David. Welcome back.
Hey, David.
Who else we got here? Wilfredo's back. Frankie's back. Simon. Glenn. I'll go through these kind of quick.
Yeah.
Beth's here. Hey, Beth. Glenn's back.
He had an interview for
cool.
Coder Foundry.
Oh, did he? Okay.
He did.
Cool. You have to let us how it went in the chat. And Brian's mom said hey again. Hey, Brian's mom.
Hey, Brian's mom.
I love that Brian's mom says hey. That's awesome. Rafinko's here. Our buddy Stian's here again. Udara, welcome. Thank you. Hachishia, namaste.
Yeah.
Cool. We got a lot of people back. That's cool.
Yeah, so I'll answer David's question real quick.
Oh, we got a question already?
Yeah. You talked about my video for templating. No, I'm not using Gatsby or React. I'm just using plain old template tags and JavaScript. So the reason I'm doing that is sometimes you don't want to learn about componentry inside of all these gaps in React, you know? So it's a lighter weight thing, how you can do it. So you may use other libraries to achieve the same thing. This is how you do it without a library.
Just like anything, that sort of leads into our thing today too. Exactly. There's many ways to do the same thing,
right?
And that's sort of what we're going to talk about today. We've titled this, and we want to talk about how to maximize your opportunities.
Right.
So
exactly.
We know there's a million ways to do this and a million ways to break into this. But what's the best way that we think of? And that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, the best way to maximize your opportunity of breaking in.
Yep.
So anyway, I think that'll be good as we get through it.
Yeah.
What's our first topic right there? I guess we can get started.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and jump here. So how to maximize? We have 2 polar opposite schools of thinking in this. Right. The first way.
Yeah. So like when you guys are out here and ladies, you're out here learning how to code, you're probably in one of 2 camps. And I think that we're somewhere in the middle. The first thing is like I can go to Udemy and watch a 24-hour full stack web dev course and be a programmer next week.
Right.
Get a job.
You can spend $12.
Yeah.
Learn the program, just learn the code, get a job next week.
Right. And then there's the other camp where you're trying to learn and you're thinking, this is impossible. This is for like genius level intellects. The only people that could possibly do this are like genius level people. and all coders are on a different realm of existence than the most normal people in the world. They're really, really smart.
Right.
It's impossible to learn.
And these are two common things that we come across all the time. These are two common sort of thought groups.
Yeah.
That just like, so we saw the thing. Let's talk about the minus thing that we saw a while back. That was an interesting sort of, that comes into the first group.
Yeah.
They just like, oh, just learn to code. We'll make a bunch of miners into coders. They lost their jobs. We'll just turn them into coders. It wasn't that simple.
So if you don't know this story, you're from somewhere else. In Kentucky, they shut down some coal mines, and they said #learn to code was this thing that came out, and they're like, just learn to code. And so they had what I would call a substandard way of teaching these people. They didn't really commit to the process. They thought it would be easy, and it failed miserably. And so such that the hashtag became a negative connotation where, oh, you can just learn to code. You got laid off, #learn to code, and people were just making fun of that disastrous, because it didn't really work out for all those guys in Kentucky. So what do you do? So how can you learn to code? So it's not as easy as people make it out to be, and it's also not nearly as hard as people make it out to be.
Right. So I've heard your story, the Magic Bean story. I think we put this on. I know we put this on another video too, but I love that analogy. It's super good because this tells me this explains to me like the why it doesn't work. I can't just get a brain upload.
Right. Exactly. And so we when people are coming into Coder Foundry, when we're talking to them, we're always telling them like, Coder Foundry, a bootcamp, a college, a technical community college, a Udemy course, none of those are magic beans. And what I mean by magic beans, if you look at the story, Jack and the Beanstalk, Jack went to market, was going to sell his cow because they were poor. And he met a person along the way, some shady character, and he sold it for 5 magic beans because the guy told him to change his life. He brings the magic beans back to mom. Mom's furious. What are we going to do now? You're supposed to sell the cow. You come out with these 5 worthless beans, and she throws them out in the out the window. And so like that is like what we're expecting out of some of these kind of like just a random course sometimes. Or even if you get into somewhere like Coder Foundry, you're thinking, if I could just get in, then it's gonna work out for me, And so we have a lot of people drop, we have a lot of people quit, some people fail, and so like we know that there is no magic bean to this. So whether you go to university or whatever, it's just not magic. So if you read the rest of the story, the beans grew up into a giant beanstalk. Jack had to climb the beanstalk, fight the giant, get the gold, win the girl. There was a lot of effort on his part. And so that's where I think that the grit factor comes in the middle. And that's why it's somewhere in the middle. It's not instant knowledge. It's not instant oatmeal. It's not a magic bean. But it's also not impossible either, but there is some work involved for you to be able to do this. So you have to put in a lot of time and effort.
Right.
And I think the grit factor is where it's going to be. And so I'm more of a realist, like, you want to learn to code from scratch. It's going to take a significant amount of investment on you. And you also need a coach, a teacher, and a mentor, someone that can help you along the way. Yep. And that's where Coder Foundry or a college comes in, where someone teaches you. The hardest way, I think, to learn is just taking a class by yourself, a pre-recorded Udemy course. I think, by the way, is the hardest way because you just can't ask anybody questions.
Right. And we've also seen this on the other end of this too, though, where we talk about it being sort of not being impossible. And we've heard some crazy stories before where people have been like, well, my dad's a coder.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, so, okay, that might give you a connection, but that doesn't make you a coder. It's not genetics.
No, it's not the X gene, it's like where you're suddenly a mutant coder now,
right.
So like just because your dad programmed back in the day doesn't mean that you're going to necessarily program.
Right. It's a skill, right? We're saying it is a skill. You can learn it.
Yes. I definitely think it's a skill while I don't think everyone can be a programmer because of the way a lot of us approach problems and think, but more can do it than you would think. It's not this elite level thing that only the smartest of the smartest can do.
And actually, and while we're talking about that too, we can talk about the quiz too, because I have this link too. So we do have a quiz at Coder Foundry that we have people take when they apply. So you apply for Coder Foundry, we have you take this quiz. So this quiz is like it's an aptitude test quiz, really. It's whether you have the natural ability to be able to think like this.
Yes.
So you can go take this quiz, and it'll give you an idea. Now, if you score like a 20 on this quiz, I can guess and just randomly select questions better than get a 20. So it's probably not the right kind of thing for you, or you're going to have to spend a lot longer doing it.
Right. And that's what I want to think is, let's say that you're highly, highly motivated. Your grip factor is 1,000.
We've seen that.
Yeah. But your natural inclination to this is like, you're lower than this. That means that in your life where you sit right now, a boot camp's not the best thing for you, because boot camp is so fast, it's so accelerated. So that's where you say, okay, let me take a course online and just see if I can develop this way of thinking. And you can learn it. It just may take you longer to get there. And so that's where your grip factor comes in. How long will it take you? Maybe that's a year. Right. It's not 3 months, or maybe that's a college for you. You want to take the community college route or the university route and go that route, where that's a 2 to 4 year investment of your time and effort, but you just need time to understand the information.
Right. And we've definitely advised people that have applied to Coder Foundry. We've seen that a combination of maybe an interview and their test results and been like, this is probably not going to be the right thing for you. We don't want you to waste your money on this. We don't want you to have a bad experience here.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to show this quote right here from Beth. She said, truth be told, I was pleasantly astounded when I scored well on the quiz. I used to think coders were all geniuses.
This is a common thing. We run into this all the time.
All the time.
All the time.
So, Beth, let me tell you how this works. Basically, what our quiz did, we're going to give away a little bit of a secret here, is can you look at something and can you apply that pattern to something else? So I think there's two types of people in the world that if you lock them inside of a gated thing and they didn't know about gates or anything like that, someone would try to knock the gate down or climb it. And then there's the other people that would just look for the door. And so like they just look for the simpler solution. So I saw this in the Rock movie where the Rock was in a skyscraper and he's going to knock this door down. He had a big fire axe and he picked it up and I was going to swing it. And then he just said, let me check to see if it's unlocked. And he just opened it up. So he knew the system should work. He just, so like that's the abstract. You can take a system that you see and that you know about and apply it abstractly to another problem. And that's what a programmer does. Yep. Most people, or a lot of people, have to take the system they know about and then they see another problem and they can't make the similarity leap between problem A and problem B, and they start over on problem B. And doesn't mean that you're dumb. It just means that there's just a way that people think about that lends yourself well to understanding and learning how to code.
Yep, definitely. I've had some people, when we first put this test out and we first the quiz and we tested the quiz on a bunch of people, I had some very smart friends who took the quiz. Mm-hmm. Now they are teachers with master's degrees that teach language skills. They did not score very well. Right. But they are what I would consider to be very smart people. Right. That's just a different kind of smart.
Yeah, it's just different. Yeah.
Yep.
And then there's also in this world too, there's a lot of people that are just like what I would call socially smart. They can pick up on social cues. They're very masters at communication. And so they may not be lend themselves well to coding. Yep. But they can, they can just they have the gift of gab, so to speak. The gift of being able to talk to people, influence people.
Yep. I definitely know people like that. 100%. Hey, look, Raphael said it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah.
True. And actually, Raphael, look, hold on. You sent me. So you want a coding little quiz thing, not coding quiz, our game quiz, and you sent me a picture. So I'm going to share it here. I hope you don't mind. Pull it up here because he sent me a cool little picture back. Let me see here. Here we go. So here's Raphael and his duck and his Coder Foundry hat.
Yeah, he won the coder quiz.
So I love it. It's super good. A matching t-shirt too. I love it.
I like you brought it rock the yellow. I like it.
Yep, I like it. It's super good. So thanks for sending that too. And it's awesome.
So I got this one right here. Read this one right here from Life. I think it's Steen.
Okay. So yeah, Steen says, I agree with the fact that not everyone can become a programmer, as Bobby says. Yep. Have you encountered these people in your boot camp? Any stories? We have.
Yeah, we do. It's called the 2-week drop date. And sometimes we have to like.
It's not even that sometimes. Yeah. It's not even that far sometimes.
First day drop date. So what we do in our boot camp is you have a 2-week free look period. Basically, you come in and you try it out for 2 weeks. And if this isn't for you, you can drop without any cost to you.
Yep.
And we think that's fair.
That's also based on you have to have gotten past admissions too. Like it's not like it's a week. You have to have been. We're going to select you based on the fact that we don't want you to drop. We're going to look at your grit factor too. So we try and minimize this a lot. And we have been minimizing it a lot more recently. But this is something that, you once you're in, you have that 2 weeks. But getting in the first place, we're trying to look for these signs that it's not a right fit.
And so it's not a right fit. And then we typically come and ask you and say, hey, you probably should think about dropping, especially if you're paid money up front.
Yep.
We feel like you may need a longer or less accelerated program than our boot camp.
Yep. We've definitely turned plenty of people away who have been literally at the door with cash.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
we're like, it's just not right for you. It's not right.
Yeah. And I think that we've met a lot of people. Same thing, Steen, is like they didn't believe they could do it, and we've actually talked them into staying.
Yep.
Because they imposter syndrome runs hard in the first 2 weeks in Coder Foundry. It's almost contagious. So
definitely. Adam says he can confirm all coders are not geniuses. Source, he's a coder and not genius. I don't know. You're a smart guy, Adam. Don't play that down.
You're pretty smart. Yeah.
Here you go. Roberto says, I'm happy somebody says clearly that you do not exist. The saying that in 1 to 2 months you can become a coder.
You can do it in 3 months. You really can.
You can.
You can. In a boot camp setting, 8 to 9 hours a day setting.
Yeah.
Part-time, it's going to take you longer. If you're spending 4 hours a week, it's going to take you way longer. But in a boot camp setting, what we call immersive setting, which means that you have an instructor at your side, at your beck and call for 8 to 9 hours a day, you can learn it in 3 months.
Yep.
And you can be pretty proficient and be enough to get a job. It's possible. So depending on the job market, the location, how well you interview, but it's definitely possible. You can learn a lot in 3 months if you did it all day long. That's
definitely. Definitely. Here you go. Rufinko says he's 42. Started a new career as a junior dev.js this month. That's awesome.
Sweet.
That's awesome. Yeah, congrats. That's super cool.
That's awesome. We actually have a Coder Foundry grad coming on tomorrow.
We do.
Yes. So she got hired in the pandemic. This morning. She got her job offer this morning.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
she's gonna come on tomorrow.
Yeah, we're gonna talk to her, look at her portfolio, talk about her journey. I think that'll be a good if you want to see someone that's actually done this and walk the miles and just come back tomorrow.
Yep. Here you go. Adam says too, there's several people in our cohort who are convinced in the first 3 weeks they have no idea what they were doing. And by the end, they could build an app in their sleep.
Yep. It's very common. We see it every 3 weeks. So like when you're teaching someone to code, there's certain knowledge they have to accept so that we can get to a certain point and then we can go back so you can understand it.
Yeah, that is a common thing too. And I would say that's a common trend. Yeah, trusting the process is a common thing here. We definitely see people who try and buck the process.
Yes.
Because to learn it in 3 months, you have to go in with the understanding that you will not understand everything.
Right.
You cannot learn everything in 3 months. There is a minimum amount of things you have to learn. And that comes back to actually maximizing your opportunity too. Yeah. You have to use your time well to maximize your opportunity because you need to learn the correct things in those 3 months and not go down these crazy tangents and rabbit holes.
Yeah, I tell a lot of people that Coder Foundry is not a 5-day boot camp. It's a 12-week boot camp. And so like when you come to me after 5 days or 6 days, like I'm never going to learn this. I'm like, well, give yourself 12 weeks. Or I'll tell you on the 14th day if you can stay or not.
Yeah.
So sometimes you got to ask people, it's not a good use of their time right now.
Yep.
Or their money. So we don't want to like trick anybody. That's my whole thing.
Yeah. No. That's definitely not what we're about. Okay, so we've talked about the first two things here. You can't just, it's not a magic bean.
No, it's not.
And it's not impossible that we know that it's somewhere in between. So it's somewhere in between. We have a thing that we've talked about here a few different times. So we talked about how to learn and what to learn. So let's talk about how to learn.
So
there's 3 ways.
There's 3 ways. So like obviously, I would say probably 90% of you right now are learning with an online course. Okay. And I think that there's 3 ways you can do it. You can go online, you can go bootcamp, you can go to college, university, to either 2-year or 4-year. The advantage of online is cost, obviously. The disadvantage is getting help when you're stuck and total time commitment. So I think if you're just going to learn online, taking tutorials and things like that, it could take you a year or longer. If you go to a boot camp, which is what we do, you can get there faster, but the cost is a little bit more expensive. But the advantage is you get a teacher, a coach, or a mentor in our boot camp where you can just ask questions, and that keeps your momentum going and keeps you unstuck so that you can keep going. So that's what we think is the fastest way is a boot camp. We think online learning, pure online learning, like taking tutorials and courses, is the slowest way, but it's the most cost-effective way. And then you have university. So in the U.S., 4-year degree. Okay, I'm going to qualify that. Is a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
And you take a lot of courses that don't necessarily apply to coding. And it takes 4 to 5 years because there's just that much time commitment.
Yeah.
Then we also in the U.S. we have what we call community colleges or state community colleges that are 2 years, and that's pretty cost effective. I think probably even cheaper than just a boot camp.
Yeah, it's enough to, and it's you can generally get enough with some of those associates of applied science type degrees, where it's like you do actually probably do some coding.
Yeah, exactly. And so like Scott Hanselman proved that, where he had a 2-year degree from a community college. He works at Microsoft and running VisualStudio.net and those kind of things. So like, it's definitely possible to break in with either one of these methods. We're just telling you that I think the best method to learn is you wake up one day and you're like, man, I watched this YouTube channel and Bobby's talking about being a coder. I want to get that dream. I want that dream job. I want to make that $100,000. And so like, how do I do that? Take an online course, on something and just see if you like it. See if you had fun, see if you had to do it. Cause I've always told people like coding is either fun or it's not. Like if you like to code, it's fun. If you don't, it's painful.
You're just never going to make it through. You're never going to have a commitment to be it as a job. It's just not going to work.
It sucks. I mean, so like, it's just painful. You have to sit inside a lot. And so you just need to like work on your learning process. And so then take a online class, maybe like a C# class or a React class or something like that. And then see if that works for you. You're like, oh, that was fun. I'll have to do it. Now you can decide how you want to learn. Cause I still think today that the best way to do it is get a teacher or a coach or a mentor to help you through the process. And so that involves boot camp or college, I think, still to this day. Can you learn all by yourself? Yes. It's just way harder.
Yep.
So when we talk about maximizing your opportunities, we're talking about maximizing your time, maximizing your realistic opportunity to getting a job for actually working for you. And I think a lot of times you need someone that will push you to do the extra step and keep you motivated and keep you going when times are rough, when you don't understand.
I 100% loved your plan before that used all 3. Yeah. So it was like, get that like basic, just online thing, get the $12 course, go do YouTube, do whatever you want to do, make sure that it's right for you, go to a boot camp, do the boot camp thing, get the job, then have the company pay for your degree.
Yeah.
At least in the US, that's like for me, that's the golden thing. Cause then you get the best of all 3.
Right. Exactly.
Your time to market's quick because you've spent a minimum amount of time doing online. You spent a minimum amount of time in a boot camp. It's cost you the least amount of money while time to money ratio. And then you get the company to pay for your degree is just awesome.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing you do.
Yep.
No, it doesn't.
Yep. Yeah, it totally doesn't. And if anything, it makes you sort of less prepared for a job.
Yeah.
We've definitely seen that. A university doesn't give you much job coaching, at least in the US it doesn't.
Right.
They don't have a recruiter working for them that's looking for a job for you.
Right. And then my problem, Tech Raleigh, and we've all been to college, so I have. I mean, like the thing with colleges is that you get 4 years of loosely connected courses. And so when you get on the job, you have to connect all those together to be able to actually build a real project. And so maybe you do a capstone course or something like that in your senior year. But for the most part, you just pass a bunch of courses. And so like the learning journey is passing the course, not necessarily building something. And I think that's the difference between college and a boot camp. Boot camps, we focus on building something, and then a college, you focus on learning something.
Yep.
And it doesn't mean that you can't build something out of a college, but you got to go through the building process, I think, and you don't want to do that in your first job. But hey, man, college degrees hold weight. I mean, they do. They're still
they do.
In the US.
They do. They do, definitely.
100%. So if you can afford to do that with time and money, it's not going to hurt you. But we've had a lot of 4-year CS grads come to a boot camp after it, and we end up in their capstone program.
Exactly. That's where it's worked. And that's for some, like Beth here says too true. She's got a hard-earned MS degree that nobody gives a flip about.
Yeah. They don't care, especially in the coding world. Once you break in, your education is less important. It's like what you did last week on the last job that you're at. So you're using your education to break into your first job. After that, it's based on your experience and what you know how to do. So
here you go. Chris said his degree in philosophy got him the same job as the CS dude on his team and the self-taught guy. So yeah, that shows you like both ends of this. We should have been smart enough to go the self-taught route. It's not about being smart. It's definitely not.
It's hard.
It's hard.
It's just hard.
It's more about grit than being smart. You're smart enough because you got a degree in philosophy and you're doing this now. So you have the smarts. It's the grit thing, and the grit thing is really, really, really difficult.
Yeah, but his last comment here is, I think, is quite genius, or at least a focused set of classes. See, the problem with online is like we're all over the place, man. We're like learning this, we're learning that. We take in, I've got like 12 Udemy courses and I've checked them all out. I don't have a focused learning path, and that's our next step.
Yep.
Pick a job function, learn that. Learn how to do web, learn how to do mobile, learn how to do desktop, learn how to build services, fix that, focus your learning all on that. And then once you pick like web, for example, then you can start trimming down the things that you need to know. And so for web, you need HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and some kind of back-end language. That could be JavaScript, that could be C#, that could be Java. But like, this is going to focus your learning in on like building one thing, and then learn that stack all the way to the end, build projects in it, and don't deviate. Like our friend a couple weeks ago, he's learned 9 languages in 1 week. It's like, that's too much, man. Don't focus in on that. So if you're going to build mobile, I think cross-platform mobile, Xamarin, Flutter, React Native, one of those 3. If you're building desktop, probably C#, could be Java.
Yep.
Could be.
But you got to make sure that it aligns with the job that you're going to get too, right? That's the other thing we've talked about. You got to make sure there's an outcome for it, that's why we suggest doing web dev, because we know there's just more jobs there right now. Yeah. But ultimately, if you want your goal to be, like, say you want to make a game, you may start out there. You may start out with C#, Unity, and you may just make a game and you may get lucky. But let's say that the quicker route is going to be to go into web dev and then start looking at Unity on the side maybe, and then move into the game dev side of things.
Right. I would say right now, if you want to break into the game industry, okay, and you want to be like a game programmer, I think if you built a game and showed it, that's the best way to break in. Now, there's also a lot of positions in game development, obviously 3D modeling, art, and all those other types of things. But if you're saying, I want to program the actual gameplay, build and ship a game and then show it to a AAA studio, put something on Steam. I think that's the best way to break in. You know, you can go to Full Sail or go to university and take your game courses and all those kind of stuff and learn about stuff. And you can break in that way too, but it's a whole lot easier if you did that and you're like, hey, go play my top-down shooter.
Right.
You know, I built this in Unity or I built this in Unreal. Yeah.
Here you go. This is true. Raphael says some colleges have career fairs, but most of the time they'll just tell you to apply online. They just show up for the politics. Yeah, that's true. At least in the US, it's not the after service for college is pretty poor.
It's pretty poor. But hey, if you got a chance to go to a job fair, I would go and talk to people. It's how you win. You can at least talk to them.
Yep.
You know, and then they tell you to apply online. That's true. You know.
Yep. Yep.
It's kind of sick. And then he's, you know, but it doesn't mean college is worthless. I don't want you to think that that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying that there's multiple routes.
Yep.
And time to market for me is important. Like what I learned, build a project, time to market should be shorter. If I'm learning multiple things over 4 years, then when I learned SQL in my freshman year, I may need to go revisit that in my senior year. So.
Right. Here's the one thing you do end up with college, though. You're still paying your loan after 12 years.
Yeah, if you're in the U.S.,
that part sucks. Yeah,
I'd say it's about $50,000 to $50,000 a year if you're in a private institution. If you're in a public, it may be $30,000 a year.
Yeah. So some of my teacher friends will be paying their loans for the rest of their life. I'm convinced they will never ever pay it off.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, and we're talking just about coding. I mean, like, hey, if you're going to be a doctor, there's only one way to do it. You got to go.
Yeah, exactly. There's no doctor boot camp at this point.
No, there's no doctor boot camp.
No patients are signing up for the doctor boot camp.
No, exactly. I'll go to brain surgery in 12 weeks.
That's fine.
So, you know.
Here you go. Tamalan, thanks for the question. Is asking, currently work as a front-end engineer. I want to be a back-end engineer.
Yeah.
What's the transition path for that?
So look at your back-end technologies that you can pick from. So I'm going to give you 3: ASP.NET, C#, Java, Spring MVC, something like that, and then the JavaScript flavors, Angular or React. So what are you using front-end right now? Pair that up with some kind of back-end technology and start looking at how the back-end works with that front-end technology. You know,
you have an advantage already. You already know some of these concepts. I'm assuming you know JavaScript, so it's like it makes it easier than just learning it outright.
So Node.js would be one. ASP.NET with C# would be another. Java Beans and those kind of things would be the other. So
this is true too, and this is what we're saying, Raphael. I wouldn't say that throughout college completely. Companies want to see what you've done, what you can do on the job, and you are educated. Yeah. It does show that you have grit. If you've committed to a 4-year degree, you haven't just you had to do something to get that.
I have a 4-year degree. I mean, it's not in computer science, but like I have one.
Yep.
You know, so
Yep.
So if you can get it, but see, like Raphael, we're talking to a lot of people here that college is not an option.
Right.
So either finances, location, it's just not an option. There's also people that are trying to career switch and they're in their 40s and they feel like they don't have another 4 years to devote to this. So they're looking for a time to market. And that's where boot camps fill in the gap for those kind of things and online learning. So.
Yep. Definitely. Alex is asking, going off not trying to learn everything, what do you think about becoming a front-end dev by just learning front-end? Very minimum back-end, like consuming APIs.
There's just less of those jobs. So, but that's all. But I mean, you got to know, like, I think if you're going to be a web developer, regardless if you're back end, you call yourself a back end web developer, you've got to know JavaScript. So like it's necessary to know HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. That's the way it is. And then like he's got the comma framework of your choice, where that's jQuery, Knockout, you know, whatever you're using, ASP.NET, Razor Pages, React, whatever you're doing, you've got to know a front end framework of some sort, Bootstrap. And then you can consume an API. Yes. And then better yet, you can build your own APIs. And that's where you work on building your APIs. So I think if you're a front end dev already and you're working, you can probably take a course on building ASP.NET or something like that, some back end, or just building like RESTful services, you know.
And chances are too, if you're in a bigger market, you might find some of these jobs or more of these jobs too. Smaller markets, you definitely see less of them. If you're in New York, there might be more of these kind of positions, but
some of these
see a lot
mid-sized companies, they're going to expect you to just do everything. I just need you to build my website, you know.
Right.
You know, front end, back end, whatever you call it. I need a website.
Right. They don't. Yeah, exactly. They don't really care what you decide to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So, let me look here. So our next sort of step 2 is we talk about what it takes. So when we talked about this a lot, and we've talked about this a lot on these videos, period. But you got to have a portfolio.
Yes. So, like, here's the problem with tutorials. Is that they're tutorials. So a good tutorial on Udemy or Udemy. I don't know why I want to call it Udemy.
Maybe we should start that one. We'll typo it and we'll. I'm
from the South, you know, so like we mispronounce everything. But like the reason you have the good courses lead to projects. So I'm going to shout out somebody's course here. It's called Yelp Camp. You've probably heard of it. So Yelp Camp was, I think it's...
I think that's Colt Steele's.
Colt Steele Yelp Camp.
I think Yelp Camp is Colt Steele.
It's cool. And if we had Colt Steele on it, I think he would agree with what I'm about to say. So like you take this course, it's full stack course, web development. I think it's a Node.js, JavaScript backend piece. And you end up with this campground management piece of software. Okay. You cannot take Yelp Camp and put that on your portfolio.
Right.
So what I want you to do is either take Yelp Camp on steroids or change the problem, take what you learn from that course and build a new work that's your own. And I think that does 2 things. Number one, it solidifies your learning because now you're taking this Yelp Camp course that you took and then you're applying it to a new problem. So whatever that data set is or whatever that domain you're building is, you build a bug tracker, for example, but you can take the knowledge that you learned in Yelp Camp and apply that to some other new work. And then you take that work and put it on your portfolio. So you have to build projects. The quicker you get from tutorials to projects is where you need to be.
And now you have a unique piece of work too, because nobody else has got this. You've basically taken those same concepts and you've built a unique thing. Whereas if you put Yelp Camp on there, chances are they're probably going to have heard of it. They're probably going to have seen a bunch more of other people who have put this on their portfolio already.
Downloads, you know?
Yeah. Which the same could be said about our bug tracker. The bug tracker is super popular.
Yeah.
It's become more popular. You don't necessarily have to build it as a bug tracker.
Right.
You could build it as something else.
Right.
With the exact same concepts.
Right. Exactly. And our bug tracker isn't a public course. It's something you learn at the bootcamp.
Right.
So like there's a little difference there, but in general, I think that you need to have a brand new work. So like what we do is we teach concepts at Coder Foundry, and then the end result of that is building a bug tracker. You know, so you have to like learn what you're doing and then build it. You give them requirements and you complete them, and then you ask enough questions till you understand how to do it.
And also with the bug tracker, everybody else it's a student's own work, so every single one of them is different. I've seen a lot of these, and I've never seen two alike.
Yeah, they're not.
Whereas these, that's funny. Tongue twist those all the time. There you go.
Yeah.
Udemy and Unity. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, you see those things all the time, and it just I don't know what I want to say.
Yeah, they're always different. You bring your creativity to it.
Yeah,
they're not copied.
Yeah,
they're not cookie cutter.
Whereas cookie cutter, there you go. That's what I'm trying to think of. But Yelp Camp is consistently, it's the same every time. Nobody ever sort of makes it different.
Yeah, look at this one. What do you think of this question?
I don't know School 42. You know School 42?
No, but what do we think of hardcore coding boot camps?
What's a hardcore coding boot camp? What's hardcore? I mean, what's hardcore? I mean, yeah, I don't.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
We like hardcore coding boot camps.
If you're just going to say hardcore coding boot camps, yeah, we're down.
We're down.
We're in for that.
That's a shameless plug. Thank you to, we didn't you know, that's
I don't know what
not a
School
burner
42 is
account that
though.
we just put in there. You know, that's someone asked the question. So
Yeah.
Coder Foundry, I've never heard of School 42, but like in general, hardcore coding boot camps that result in project-based work that you developed on your own from front to back. You build it in a short amount of time is the way to go, in my opinion. But there's other ways to go.
Yep.
So I think they're good.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
All boot camps aren't equal though. Some are good, some are not.
Definitely true.
C#. Just C#. Only one to learn right now, man.
Yeah. So hold on. What are the languages that it does support?
VB.NET, F#.
Okay, so the difference. So VB.NET's older. What's F#?
Yeah, F#'s a functional language.
Okay, which again is more. It's just a different way of thinking. Okay.
Yeah, so like it's not as in demand. Doesn't mean it's not relevant. Doesn't mean it's not cool. I'm not saying that. It's just not as in demand. So if you're going to learn something brand new today, and you're going to learn a .NET language, C# is the language to learn as your first one. So you may run into VB.NET on the job, but you should learn C#.
Right.
So that's the kind of idea.
I don't know if you know about this. Shopify development, untapped market niche. I don't think it's untapped, isn't it? Like it's pretty rampant, right?
Yeah, but so you can make a living on these platforms like Shopify. You can make a living on Salesforce. You can make a living on these bigger platforms. So yeah, I mean that's an avenue to building out a career.
Yep, there are people that have careers in WordPress development.
Yeah, WordPress.
Just basically just throwing up sites for people.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, man. If you can make a go of it, yeah, building out people's e-commerce stores.
Yep. There you go. Interesting question for DD. And I think DD interviewed with us too, which is super cool. Is it all right if in the case one gets into Coder Foundry after the first 2 weeks, realize that they want to do more preparation study and would join the next scheduled cohort?
The re-interview.
Yeah.
We make them re-interview. And so it's based on the 30 that we have at the time.
If this is the case too, though, chances are, if there's an issue there and we didn't think you could do it, we wouldn't even put you in the first place.
Yeah.
So if we don't think you're ready, we won't put you in.
But if you drop after 2 weeks, then you would have to re-interview for the next scheduled cohort, and then we would look at to see who are the top 30 candidates that we have at that point.
And we probably look at what you've done between dropping and coming back in again too.
Exactly. But you just re-interview.
Yep.
All right. Cool.
I don't know this, but
you can
C# using embedded development.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
So like devices.
Okay.
Like, your set-top, your VCR or something like that. So there's .NET embedded .NET that runs in small, low-power devices.
Could it do you can do C# on like a Raspberry Pi, then something like that?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what Scott did with his Raspberry Pi stuff. I'm sure it is. Because he had that little robot thing too, which I super want. I want a little robot that wanders around my room. That'd be awesome.
I mean, you can do a lot of things with .NET. So with C#, and so it's getting better with .NET 5 too. So it's kind of cool.
Okay, interesting. Asking about bug tracker examples. We'll actually see one tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going to show you a student bug tracker. Michael, we are never going to just demo the bug tracker in its full entirety here because we don't want it copied. We want you to build it. So we want you to go out and imagine what it's. So if you need to look at a bug tracker, go demo Jira, or demo some corporate bug trackers that you can go find a demo to look at them, and then try to build one that you can do. So we've demoed it a couple of times on our website.
Yep.
Or on our YouTube channel.
On the YouTube channel. We're going to do one tomorrow.
Get out there because the thing is, people are tempted to just get it running, and that's not enough. I mean, we want you to build it. So we're more of a what do you need to do to actually break in, instead of selling hopes and dreams and saying, go download my project or buy my course for $14 and just get this running. And you too can be a coder, learn to code. So we want you to go through the effort of building it. So we're just trying to be real. We're just trying to keep it real, so that you can understand how much effort it takes.
Okay.
So
I don't know if you know the answer to this. I don't know if you know anything about this.
I've seen commercials for Webflow. I haven't tried it yet.
Okay.
They've got they're interesting marketing ploy. They filmed a documentary about a company using Webflow.
Okay.
To rebuild their thing, and they built this whole like dynamic of the back and forth between the team. There's some yelling and screaming, and how like documentaries are made.
Interesting. Yeah, you gotta have the salacious parts of the documentary.
Right. So if you made a British baking show, but then you changed that to a website, that's what they did.
Okay. That's funny.
Or like one of my favorite shows, Fast and Loud, where they're building a car. And every week they're under pressure. There's not enough time. It never will work. And then, they make this show quality car every week.
Hey, I gotta say, the Great British Bake Off, great show. I like it.
That's
I like it.
But there's got to have some drama. So Webflow did that. So I've never used. So for marketing websites, Squarespace, Wix, Webflow, those stuff have a place. And if you're building a commerce site, I wouldn't build it from scratch. I'm looking at Shopify all day long. If I'm going to build something, like I need a robust e-commerce site, Yeah. So I wouldn't build those things necessarily as a new project.
Yeah, and Catherine says big in biomedical industry too. That's how she got started programming.
Cool. All right, cool.
How do you get good at entity framework? It's hard to understand. That's a broad question.
practice. So I'm assuming you're talking about code first design. So you got to understand building models, and then you scaffold those models. That creates a DB interface for you, and then you can call those models with LINQ or something like that with Entity Framework. So
it's just a matter of getting in there and getting your hands dirty, right?
Take a course on it, look at it. But I agree it can be confusing.
Let's see. What else do we have here? How long will this take you? Okay, I don't think you've done a video calling app before. There you go. How many days?
A doctor's chat system with video calling. How many days will it take?
Why is it a doctor-patient chat system?
I think he wants to have like
security.
Teledoc now. He wants to build something like Teledoc.
Yeah.
Where we're not going to the because of COVID, we're not going to the office anymore.
Yep. Which we do have. There's an actual app on your phone that we have. So it's kind of cool.
So like my hospital already has it. Doesn't mean you can't build it, but like you could, for chat, it's super easy. You could do something like C# has built-in things for real-time chatting. Video calling, I'd have to research to see kind of how I would do that.
Yeah.
Off my top of my head, it's going to take a minute to build. It's not days, it's weeks.
There you go. Days, not weeks.
Yeah.
Here you go. Here's a great question from Brian. Thanks for the question, Brian. Brian Kiro, how do I remain relevant in the industry?
Stay committed to your craft and remain productive in your current job. I'm assuming you're coding right now. And so your current job is on a certain technology stack. Just start researching what technology stacks are coming down the pipe and kind of build some side projects on that. You don't have to do it every weekend. While this stuff changes fast, it also isn't changing every day. So like just because you're doing technology stack A like .NET and you want to learn React, build something in React over the weekend, one weekend. You don't have to do it every night or every day. So that's how you remain relevant, is keep coding and don't stand pat with what you know today. Make sure you're kind of always learning new things.
It's that ABL, right? Always be learning.
Yeah, always be learning.
Maybe we'll have a T-shirt with a Coder Foundry ABL. Always be learning. I could make that if anybody wants it. I'll put it up on Teespring.
Always be learning.
Let's look here. Anthony McCormack, being active duty military. That's super cool. Thanks for your service. Using Code Academy, going for a BS in computer programming, HTML, CSS, JSS, jQuery books. What's a good source to help with projects so I can practice concepts?
Yeah, just make up your own project, man. So you're active military. I would look around the things you're doing every day and like, oh, I wonder if there was an app or an application that could solve a problem you do in your job.
Yep.
Solve it. I guarantee you there's something in the military that needs to be written. I would almost guarantee it.
I'm sure.
You know?
I'm sure. I bet you they have inventory kind of things. That kind of idea, like tracking something would be kind of interesting.
Right. So look at your job that you're doing on a daily basis and see if there's any software systems that would help you do your job, and then build those. You know, so I built a bug tracker because, you know, run software projects. It helps me solve those kind of problems. So it makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, here you go. Stan, what's the most recent skill you guys have learned?
So I did something over the week. I was looking at, you know, templating just Saturday.
Oh yeah, you said about templating.
Yeah. So like I was just looking, like I'd read about it, but I hadn't done it yet. So I was just learning that and just seeing how that worked. And then a technique I learned, I'll show it to you. I learned it on Saturday. Was like, how do you fetch templates from disk? Things like that. So
okay,
it's not like life changing. What I
it doesn't have to be.
No, I mean, like, you know, that's just what I was learning. I was playing in JavaScript. Yep, so totally I plan to be doing some .NET 5 things here, and I'll probably have to learn a lot about that.
Cool.
So,
all
right, cool.
Here's a suggestion for streaming video in C# direct show library.
Yeah, Chris, I would have to like just do a lot of research. I know exactly what you're talking about, but I'd have to look at a lot of research to see how you would do it.
Yep.
Right now. So
Adam has an idea too. Reddit and Twitter can be a good resource for project ideas. Yeah, I could see that. Again, you're finding, I think a lot of our project ideas that we suggest, you find a pain point.
Yeah.
And that's where you build your product based on. You just solve a problem.
And it doesn't have to be unique. I mean, like you can copy another project that you saw in the wild and say, oh, I'm going to build this other thing because I can, you know? So that's kind of what you do. So like, I don't think don't look for it doesn't have to be the greatest project ever or some unique thing. You just build,
right. You're not building the next Facebook.
Yeah. I mean, but you know, you could build a social media thing if you wanted to. I mean, like, you know, and like how those relationships work, how the database would be laid out. It's all good.
Definitely. Here's a question. Shahir, at my current company, we strive for 100% code coverage with unit tests, and we fake everything around a single class. The word fake scares me. My opinion, automated end-to-end tests are more valuable. What do you guys think?
Sure. Yes. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Not everyone does all that. But like if you have the structure and the capabilities to do it, yeah, unit tests are good. You know, I think that's a good approach. So, but it's not the only thing that you need to know.
Right. I don't know about this one either. When I choose a project, I come across problems that I can only solve with C# and .NET. How can I avoid picking that type of project? Is that not the right kind of project?
I don't know what you couldn't do with C# and .NET. Be curious what you're doing.
Your projects have to align with what you want to achieve at the end, right?
Yeah, so what we're saying is pick a stack, build a website. So you can build a website with ASP.NET, a website that can do anything. And I can't imagine a website that exists on planet Earth today that couldn't be built with C# and .NET. You know, so the only thing that I can think of is you come across problems like engineering type problems that are running low level code. You need to do C for that. There are cases where C# isn't the appropriate language. I understand what he's doing that. So I understand that.
That's interesting. While we're on this sort of topic too, about what we're talking about before, about learning stuff, put in chat what you guys have learned recently. I'm interested to what skills you guys have picked up.
Yeah. So Chris has a question about Git.
Have you considered adding any high demand additional skills to Coder Foundry, i.e. Git training?
Yeah, they have to use GitHub.
Yeah, there's some sort of stuff that's implied, right, that we don't really talk about.
Yeah, we don't talk about it. Yeah. So like we're showing you how to add things to your repos, setting your repos up, because so many people, Chris, have like lost their laptop, and the first question I ask them, "Hey, was your code in Git?" And they say no.
Yeah.
And they it can cause a lot of problems, because then you got to start over and rebuild your stuff.
Yep, so, we've definitely seen that. Even after teaching
Git.
people Git, they've been like, "Oh, I didn't
do it. They won't commit, or
really?
they won't do anything." So yeah, we do that Git. So we definitely use GitHub desktop and GitHub in our projects at Coder Foundry.
Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. All right.
I don't know the answer to this question. Ego said, "I'm just dying to know.
No.
Will C# someday outrun C++ in speed?"
No.
Okay. No.
It's a managed language. So C# is managed. It never will. So if C++ is the pure speed thing that you need, and your application requires that, like your I don't know, like the one, I don't know. You'd have to like the one thing I saw was like at a NASCAR shop, they were taking shock data in real time and trying to replay shock data into a car so they could see how the shocks performed at, say, a different road track.
Oh, that's interesting.
Okay, so like you're running and this car is mounted up on physical devices, and you replay the information so the car would like go in the turns and do like that completely 100% in real time. And you want to see that this shock failed on turn 4, lap 55. You want to know why. So something like that's written in C.
Yep. Because it has to be, because you I guess you're sacrificing everything else and just to get speed.
Yes. So, and then it's just going to be faster. But there's a lot of things you can do with C# that'll be fine. I mean, like, even in real time situations, it'll be fine.
Right.
So they're just two different languages. They do two different things, and you wouldn't build a website in C++ either.
Right. Right tool for the right job, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what some people are learning here. Stian's learning SignalR.
SignalR for chat. So so if you want to be able to chat out SignalR, that's coming a long ways. It's being increasingly more integrated into the ASPD ecosphere. Working on a SignalR project right now in the consulting company for a chat app.
Cool.
Building one right now, use SignalR to do it.
Awesome. There you go.
Like, here's my put that back.
Oh yeah.
If you're learning SignalR right now, and you're looking at the examples. So you're doing a broadcast all. Just remember that that'll broadcast to all clients. So if you're trying to build a multi-chat app and you want to broadcast to one particular person, just know that the samples aren't coded that way. Just make sure you get a channel handle. So
good tip.
Specifically to Kevin. So that's the thing that from a lot of the samples out there, they don't really do that. So that's the next thing you got to do. Otherwise, you're broadcasting that same message to all the channels across the back end bus, and it's just not performant.
Interesting. There you go.
Anyway, enough
there
of
you
that.
Go. Adam's learning Unity. I'm dying to play the game, Adam, whatever that may be.
You making a game? We want to play.
Got to be making a game. I want to play it when he's made it. Yeah. Shahir's SSRS. I don't know what that one is. Do you know that one?
No. Oh.
He's learning this.
SQL. I'm thinking SQL.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brian's learned Angular. That's awesome.
Good vibes, baby. All right.
Here you go. Just kind of learning C#.NET from Udemy. Just graduated UCLA Bootcamp. That's awesome.
Okay, cool. Nice. Good luck.
Cool. Beth's working on JavaScript on Code Academy right now. I like the JavaScript on Code Academy. It's good.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else we got here? Oh, here you go. Adam says he's going to debut the game on stream. I'm totally down for that, Adam. As long as we can play it.
Oh, you're going to come on my stream and debut your game. Okay. I'm down with it.
I'm good with that.
As long as we can play it.
Yeah, definitely.
That's cool. I'll be down for it. If anybody else has a game they want to demo, we'll demo it.
We'll totally play it.
Yeah.
Let's see. What's Sonny say here? Is Julia? I never heard of Julia. Another language to look forward to as future revolutionary language. How about picking Java and Python simultaneously?
So, Sonny, I don't know where you're at. So let's say that you're a 1-year person, 1-year programmer. Pick a job that you want to do, not the language first, then pick the language. If you're 5 years into this and you're working and you're doing lots of things, hey, go look at Julia. Look at it. I don't know. A lot of these things are hard to figure out kind of what's going to change the world. And then Java and Python simultaneously. You can. I mean, so Python mainly using the data science realm. So you should be looking at what kind of data science projects are you going to be doing. Python can be used for other things too. I know that, but it's primarily used there. So just look at what you want to build, not necessarily what you're going to build it with.
There you go. Raphael knows what it is. Julia is used for data science. So yeah, that's what you similar place you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yep. JC, we're not gonna laugh at you, promise. Still reading Petzold's Code.
Okay.
We'll start learning C# and .NET right after finishing reading it. Cool.
Okay, cool.
You got to start somewhere.
Start it, man.
Keep doing you just gotta get going. Exactly. Glenn's doing a Udemy course as well. JavaScript full stack from scratch. I'm not sure I've seen that one. I don't know who the teacher for that one is. There's some good stuff on Udemy though.
So full stack scratch, you're learning Node, I'm assuming, for that. So we won't use Node in Coder Foundry, but like it's something good to know.
Yep.
So it's kind of cool. I like it.
Chef says C# basics for beginners by Mosh is separated into 3 separate courses. Currently learning the first one. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Mosh's got good stuff.
Yeah, he's definitely good. He's the one of the good ones on the online. So
definitely. Okay, we've gone past our hour. I just noticed we've gone past.
Hey, we got a guest tomorrow. We're working on some guests for this week, but we do have a guest tomorrow. We'll talk to a Coder Foundry grad tomorrow, and she's super talented. And then she just got an offer this morning, so I think she's super excited. She's got a job, so we're excited for her.
That's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
That's going to be cool. So, so we'll do that tomorrow. We'll be back at noon again. Let me see here. So, we talked about a couple of things earlier. Quiz. You guys want to go take the quiz, you can. If you don't want to get contact from us, you don't have to put in your details. You can bypass that if you just want to take the quiz. But if you score a great score, come back tomorrow and tell us what your score is. By the way, a great score, you got to get in the 90s. Like, it's got to be in the 90s. If you get 100... There's only been 2 or 3 people got 100, I think. On this
maybe 4 on the outside.
Maybe 4. There's not many. So if you can get 100 on the quiz, like come back and brag tomorrow. And trust me, I'll know that you got 100, and I'll know who you are if you put your correct details in, and I'll know if you cheated. So
Question 13.
Question 13.
That's the one that kills everyone.
Yeah, you'll spend 10 minutes on it and then still complain that it's wrong. It's not wrong. Trust me, it's correct. And I can explain it to you if you need it.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're interested in Coder Foundry, coming to the bootcamp, you can go to coderfoundry.com/virtual. Then you can see our virtual class offerings there. Yeah. We're 12-week .NET bootcamp. We have a session currently going on now. We have another one starting in July.
Yep, July 6th.
So if you're interested in that, go ahead and apply there.
Yeah.
And we'll do this one last thing.
Yes.
FizzBuzzEnergy.com. We're almost out. I think we're almost out. How many? We don't have many. We really genuinely don't have much left, do we?
Yeah.
You packed up like 8 cans this weekend, I think, to send out, and I don't know how many we've got left. It's not many. But if you're interested in a coding energy drink, which I don't know if you have one there.
Yeah.
You have one on your desk?
Oh yeah. It's actually real. People make fun of us. It's real.
But we really do. We have a Coder Foundry energy drink. So if you're interested,
we have a trademark.
It is trademarked. So you can go there, you can check that out, you can buy that.
That's kind of cool. Yeah, so it's our own brand energy drink. It has a fruity taste. We have no sugar-free option. We only have a sugar option.
Yep, no sugar-free at this point. One last thing, Michael said show a bug tracker. We will. We're gonna show it tomorrow. So we'll give you a walkthrough of it tomorrow.
Yeah, I guarantee we'll show that. So that's kind of cool. Hers is really good though. So yeah.
Yep. Okay, let's wrap this up.
All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Good luck and keep coding.
See you guys tomorrow.